We
Wait,
started
what?
this hangout. We started this hangout now. So hello everyone. There's Micromanix. I don't know. We should probably talk about the pressing news, which all kinds of shit is going down in Paris.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Numbers up to what, 60 dead or something like that, and over 100 hostages.
No. It's 36 dead, 60 hostages.
Okay.
Still crazy stuff going on.
And
what the hell's going on in Paris right now? What?
There's a hostage situation, and a lot of people are dead. Very likely a terrorist attack.
Yeah, let me check just right now if there's any more news. They're apparently streaming it everywhere, so. Here it says over at least 100 people held hostage.
Yeah, from what I understand, there was a bombing at... I can't remember if the bombing was at the stadium or if it was elsewhere, but basically there was multiple explosions that were heard over
at a nightclub. It says at a nightclub, shooting and explosion at a nightclub in Paris.
Mm-hmm. And then there was something involving the stadium, right? Because there was a game between Germany
Yeah. There was a bomb threat earlier, so they had to evacuate, and now this happened.
Hey, Andrew, it just said the stream went off air.
What?
It just said the stream went off air.
How? It says it's still alive.
Okay, that's fine then. My phone just went like, hey, the stream is now live. The stream just went off live, and I was like, okay. Anyways, whatever. That's just my phone being retarded. Never mind.
Yeah, you're on a phone. Expect retardation.
Yeah, I heard.
It's autism.
I mean, what the heck? How did this happen? What
do you mean, how did that happen?
No, I mean, how did it start? Like,
No, it's still ongoing right now, dude.
It happened during the game, so they stopped the game.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I understand, I think the president was at the game as well, the president of France, and he was evacuated. There was a lot of I guess VIP people at the game or whatever that got evacuated because there was someone's I can't remember because I've seen so many tweets now and it's all kind of trouble. But there's like some famous person's nephew was at the game or all this kind of shit. And the explosions were really loud, and they could hear it over the fans at the game, so they canceled the game. There was a shooting at the nightclub and things like that. So yeah, a lot of shit's going down.
All I can say is, in America, this wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen if we had guns, everyone. If everyone had guns, this shit wouldn't happen, man. Fucking sand niggers wouldn't be doing nothing in our country.
Oh, please. Sure they would.
That's the rhetoric.
They believe if they kill you, they'll go to heaven and get, what was it, 42 virgins? 70 virgins?
All playing World of Warcraft.
So I had to do it. I'm just like, I got my Mini 14 sitting right there. I'm just like, yeah, this would be fun to do.
Yeah, that's a nice redneck impression. This is pretty bad though. Like Paris had a terrorist shooting just like a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's that Charlie Hebdo said earlier too.
Yeah, it's not everyone is doing this. 60 dead and 100 hostages. Sky News and other papers are doing this as well.
I can't believe
they just sent up the army, the French army, over there.
Yeah,
oh God.
Well, those terrorists are going down.
Yeah. There's probably a good chance they might be thinking it's a political assassination attempt or something, considering the president was involved. So I don't blame them.
Yeah, but these football events are pretty well protected, so I don't know what their plan was. it says at least 40 dead in Paris attacks from Reuters and they...
Oh, this is serious. They're closing the borders.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Andrew, you sound like you're talking underwater. Just
Oh, sorry about that. I'm a little bit. I have a little bit of a cold. That's probably why.
That's fine. It just sounded like you were kind of like off the microphone or something like that, so I thought I'd let you know.
It could also just be compression. Audio compression codecs can sometimes do that. Kind of give a watery sound.
Yep.
How am I coming through?
You're coming through just fine.
Yeah, it was just Andrew all for a minute.
Still, this idea of these terrorist attacks happening in Paris, what the hell? I mean,
it's not that far-fetched.
That's tragic.
I know it's not far-fetched, but I haven't heard of any recent attacks in Paris by terrorists in a while.
Well,
we have Charlie Hebdo.
Charlie Hebdo.
Charlie Hebdo was early back.
Oh yeah, there was Charlie Hebdo, but I can imagine it's probably a little easier now, given the large flood of refugees. You know, there's easily probably people in there that are less than savory.
Yeah. Not to mention, I don't remember when it was, but it was it was like around June or something like that. Wasn't there that gunner on the subway that those 2 American soldiers intercepted?
You're right.
So that could have been something much bigger, and then it got intercepted, so they called it off for a few months.
They're killing the hostages one by one.
I'm not surprised.
It says, Man in Green, Hollande said it calls military to move on Paris, so yeah. And they've said there are at least 6, I would say terrorists at this time.
Okay. Yeah,
it's not.
I want to say this too. Anyone who's listening, make sure you take anything you read with a little grain of salt, because in a lot of cases, especially in stuff with like shootings in America and stuff, I don't know how accurate it is in other countries, but
anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Needless to say, expect sensationalism.
Yeah,
right. Facts can get distorted because some organizations want to get the story out there first. So always double check and read multiple sources.
It says 60 injured.
Right.
That might be true because they're treating people in the streets.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, there are regular people rushing to, and they're carrying people out of the area. So they have pictures of that. That's not bullshit. So.
Liberal voice, amazing.
Yeah, so
let's make sure we catch a few of them alive, so we can interrogate them just a little bit.
I highly doubt they're going to.
Just a little bit.
I really doubt that we're going to get any of them alive after this.
Come on, we can hope for a few alive,
Oh yeah, we can hope, but is it realistic to believe in that? Not likely.
Well, they did send the French army.
They literally will just kill themselves or go, basically death by military or death by cop.
We better have the cyanide tablet because, quite frankly.
Yeah. Military better be going in there with like fucking riot guns and shit like that to incapacitate them. They really want them to survive.
They probably got shot trying to surrender.
Flag. Fuck you, bang.
You guys aren't gonna kill me? Oh no, we want you alive.
No. This person's like, it's France. They probably got shot trying to surrender.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can probably update this during the stream or when we know more. But currently, it looks to be around 60 dead, and no, I mean at least 40 injured, 60 dead, and probably more on the evening. So.
And a few hostages.
Yeah, and around 100 hostages, they say so.
I think this is the biggest terrorist attack in quite a while, actually.
Oh, so apparently France right now is under martial law.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call them Martian law.
Martial
law. Martian law.
Oh, okay, I heard that wrong.
No, seriously, the French army's already been deployed. This is serious.
Well, I figured they were being deployed, but I didn't think they were exactly issuing martial law, but I guess they are.
Well, if they're closing the borders, then yeah, they are.
That's what happens. That's usually what happens when you deploy your military to a civilian sector.
You don't close the borders unless serious shit's going down.
All right. Well, let's move on, and I believe LT is gonna do some digging and keep us updated. Let's move on to the next topic, which is kind of the biggest one, at least when it concerns me. I finally got banned after 11 years on Gamespot. So that's very much fun right there.
From what little digging I've done, it looks like they are finally just making the sweep to censor everything GamerGate.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. There was someone in another Skype group who said that they're basically just trying to close down the forums for any sort of dissent or other opinions. Because let me pull up the Reddit thread I made, because there's quite a bit of info there. And if there's someone in the chat having questions regarding this topic, let me know. Here we go. And I'm screen sharing. Oh, there we go.
Come on, Axel. I'm on account 7 right now, and you're far less crass than me. What the hell did you do?
Here I have the whole thread. So there's quite an amount of evidence. Is there anything you want to ask before we go down this thing?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Let's see. We can start with this one. So here, I asked them to have some disclosure on the Metal Gear Solid 5 review. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
I basically here I can read the post. Gamespot has, as a whole, has not disclosed the information that the review that was done on the site was a review at a review event for Konami with limited time and supervision for the game. Here is your so-called ethics policy, which is non-existent and needs to be updated for the site itself. The rules here are so vague, which I made clear to the GameSpot staff earlier this year, yet nothing was done about it. Transparency and ethical behaviors doesn't seem to be on the agenda for the staff. Here is your so-called ethics policy. You can it's basically non-existent. It should be linked to some anyways, and I linked the SPJ code of ethics, and I got responses like this: it's just a review, please don't get your panties in a bunch. Yeah, oh my fucking god, why do you give a shit? It's a goddamn video game that costs $60, not a car or something like that. This is GameSpot, not New York Times or Washington Post, and we're talking about entertainment.
Oh, God.
You need to get a life if you worry about this kind of stuff so much from your post history. It's clear you're obsessed. And no, I'm just letting you know you need to get a life. And here we go. From the staff itself, you see GameSpot staff, please keep GamerGate stuff in the GamerGate thread. This is for bug reporting and actual feedback.
Oh my dear God! This is like
wow, yeah, ethical violations
that's not actual feedback. Yeah.
My favorite part is that my favorite part is
yeah. What were people saying about when SPJ and all those other people put in their ethics policies? What was that? GamerGate 1?
Yeah, SPJ.
Looks like we were a little bit rushing.
Airplay.
My favorite part
it's called. We are doing something called. What was it called? Jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Do you guys recognize that they're innately tying ethics issues to GamerGate here? So.
Well, the thing
this is GamerGate shit. Leave us alone.
The thing that I like about what you did with that post, Androdol, is that you were actually naming what they were doing wrong. You weren't just accusing them of lying or being unethical. You were actually naming the thing that you felt was unethical, as opposed to saying, you're unethical, and I'm calling you unethical, and nothing's going to change my mind about you being unethical. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
Despite the specifics, it's just like, nah. I mean, that's just rude. I mean, is half the insults that was getting thrown at you get a life?
Yeah, you named the specific circumstance of where the ethical fault might be, and gave them the ability to view what the ethical problem may be there. And that's the important thing we need to do with our criticisms, is that if we're going to criticize somebody over something we believe they've done wrong, we should, in the very least, be able to pinpoint where it was that they did wrong and point that out to them. Because if we're just going to say, you are not sourcing your things correctly, and then not, mentioning what you didn't source correctly, well, how the hell are they going to learn from that?
Yeah, and since that thread was closed, because I wasn't allowed to talk about the Metal Gear Solid 5 review on the actual feedback forum, I made another thread in the same forum. Gamespot as a whole has not disclosed the information that the review that was done on the site with the limited whatever. Here is your so-called ethics policy, which is non-existent, and it's to be updated for the site. The rules are so vague, which are made clear to the GameSpot staff earlier. Yeah, here is your so-called. Oh, I think it's the same post. God damn it. Did I click the wrong one?
I'd like to also note, back on the previous subject just for a minute, apparently Internet Aristocrat is starting a stream on the subject of the Paris attacks, I think.
Yeah, and here's the message I got from them. If I can enhance it a bit, pretty please. Here we go. So give you some context. I got a message removed. I didn't archive that message, unfortunately. But basically, there was a guy saying that Lara Croft was a feminist hero, and I said if she was a feminist hero, all she would do is cry harassment and bitch to the UN. And basically that was a sexist from my part, because I was calling modern feminists lazy, and my message got removed. And this was in the same, just right after this, looping in on GameSpot, because I asked why this was removed. Looping in on GameSpot, due to recent findings on the UGC user-generated content that you've posted regarding GameSpot service, we have come to the conclusion that perhaps it's best that we see other people. Best of luck finding a community that better suits your needs. And the video
basically
is
just a giant fuck you.
Yeah, and
GameSpot, we guarantee you there will be people who find out about this. It's not just going to be a small random incident. You're going to hemorrhage users. You're going to hemorrhage readers. Good fucking luck with that.
Yeah, and I have the video itself, which you saw was here marked in red. They linked to one of my videos that's off-site. Basically, that's the reason. I can't criticize them off-site, even after I've contacted them. Because if you take a look, I wrote an article, let's see here. Here we go. And how GameSpot actually locked threads just regarding GamerGate. Right, here we go. Here, this got locked. Why you're wrong about GamerGate. This got locked.
Wow.
This got locked because it was basically being about GamerGate as well. This got locked.
Well, Androdol, let's face it. You gotta stop talking about ethics, man. You gotta stop talking about being fair and doing the right things,
And for the greater good.
and pointing out specific examples of where there was failures, so they can actually, see it, as opposed to, just making a general statement.
Here, the actual GamerGate thread, which had, I believe it was over 1,000 posts, got locked. And I have here I have all the screenshots between myself and the actual staff, or community and mods, going rampant on the site, locking threads left and right, abusing their power. And I specifically say that they don't actually follow the rules of GameSpot, but they're actually being biased and locking threads, which aren't actually violating the board rules nor the GameSpot service user agreement rules. And again, the reason I was banned as well does not violate the site's rules. I went through them with a very close eye, or what should I say, very detailed, and tried to see what I could actually have been banned for. They didn't, as you saw, they actually didn't give me a reason why I was banned on this image here. They just said pretty much fuck off and go to another community.
Jesus.
And I have more evidence here. They also reported on Brianna Wu one-sided as well, where they just said that she was pretty much chased out of PAX. You remember that fiasco? Do any of you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, it's basically
where she lied and claimed she was going to not attend PAX and attended PAX anyway.
Yeah, basically. And here you have the community manager actually blocking me on Twitter.
Jesus Christ.
And it doesn't just stop there.
That's really petty, though, that last bit.
Here, GameSpot itself has fucking blocked me.
Hey, Androdol, just think about this for a second. Just think about this for a second.
You fucking triggered GameSpot.
Wasn't that such a terroristic message? A misogynist message? A sexist message? Just, you were totally harassing women with that message there, weren't you? I mean, just really.
Yeah, I'm actually harassing everyone in here, and you can go to this thread here, and if there are any critical things I missed or a question, I mean, you can post them or ask me, because and I all the other threads I did here I actually also listed on the Reddit thread, so. I've pretty much put it into context. What do you guys think?
You definitely got pretty fucked over there.
I think it's case closed, essentially, but, you are entirely in the right. You gave them specific criticisms to what they did wrong. You showed them exactly where they had done wrong. You didn't just generalize the statement and say, "Oh, hey, you're just a bunch of assholes and you're being the lying idiots." No, you give them specific criticisms and specific places where they could look at those criticisms and say, "Oh yeah, we done fucked up," and they chose to say, "Oh, you're a GamerGate harasser."
Yeah, and I even spoke to the VP of GameSpot in the end of January, telling him specific issue. I believe I have it in the screenshots here. where I specifically point out issues I had with the GameSpot ethics policy. I can't remember which one it was. It's gonna take forever if we. Let's see. No, it's not that one. That's the mod basically locking your thread. But yeah, you can go. I don't want to go through all these fucking things here. Basically, I exposed the mods who locked the threads without any reason. One of the mods who locked. Let me see this thread right here. Let me see. Oh, let me go back. No, that was the correct one. The one I showed first. This one right here. He said in a PM to me, he said it was becoming a pissing contest in that thread, so that's why he locked it. And I've been loyal to that site with a relatively clean record on that site for all these years, and they basically just fucked me over the first thing they get a chance to. With actually not, they didn't actually follow their own rules banning me.
So not only did they throw a bitch fit when you tried criticizing them, they just immediately just went up straight up and banned you without any further.
Without reason. Without
Well,
reason.
see, that's the fun thing is he was accusing them of things, and then pointing out the specific thing that was going on, which is the criticism. When you're, accusing somebody of something, like I could say, well, you're a liar. Well, why am I a liar? If I say nothing, well, then you don't know why I think you're a liar. You just hear you're a liar. But when I specifically point out what I think you're lying about, that becomes the criticism. And that's exactly what Androdal did. And they're trying to say, oh, well, you are just doing your GamerGate shit. Well, that was an actual criticism. He pointed out what it was that he believed had been done wrong. And they could have responded and said, well, this is why we didn't do wrong. And, that could have been a different argument altogether. But, that could have been the response. But when you've got nothing to go to, well, what the hell's the point? Well, when you've got nothing to show for what you think is wrong, what the hell's the point? Because it's not criticism anymore, it's just a straight-up accusation.
Yeah, I have to find the other thread. It's probably one of these in here, where I made the where I made the Metal Gear Solid, the ethics policy, where I specifically pointed out, and it got deleted. Yeah, I think it was this one. Yeah, no. I think it was this one. Anyways, they deleted one of the topics where I specifically told them what kind of things the ethics policy was lacking, and pointed them to the SPJ policies, and they ended up deleting it because, again, it wasn't feedback.
Quote unquote, it wasn't feedback.
Yeah.
Actually, it was feedback because you pointed to specific things. Again, it wasn't vague. It was very direct. You were pointing to direct things, pointing out where you felt it was wrong. This is very specifically feedback. This is very specifically criticism. Yes, it is a mixture of accusations as well, but you have exact things to point to within your criticism. It is right there for them to see.
Yeah, and again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Reddit threads, and this one to give 7. And yeah, after 11 fucking years, I stayed with him even after Jeff Gerstmann got fired when the developer, or I think it was 2K, I can't remember which one it was, THQ or something, who paid GameSpot off to fire Jeff Gerstmann, and he even said this in 2012 or 13. And this is the same fucking site who now doesn't even who like to censor their users for actually pointing failures out with the site, because they don't even have an ethics policy. They use the business policy of CBS, which is so bare bones. It's not even. It's more of a guide if you have family or friends who you do business with, which has nothing to do with GameSpot ethics.
And what was he fired for again?
Jeff Gerstmann. He gave a 6 to Kanan Lynch when it was heavily advertised on the sites.
With Doritos and Mountain Dew, right?
2007.
Doritos
And
Mountain
and I've been on that site since 2004. So.
Well, I have to give you props for that. I never go there. Like I haven't been there in literally forever. Like literally.
Well, I can't go back. They IP banned me. They IP banned me.
I guess I'll be the dick real quick. Why would you still go there? I'm genuinely curious.
I like the community.
Yeah, but by being a part of that community and being active and endorsing that community, you're allowing and helping that community to grow, henceforth allowing more people to go to that site, which did those really fucked up things that you're against.
Well, I was trying to change it. That was my plan, but I can't do anything more on that site, so yeah, I tried so hard that I got banned, literally.
You tried so hard and you got
And
so
got
far.
so far.
But in the end,
But
it
in the
doesn't
end-
even matter.
You only got banned.
Yeah, do any of you have any additional comments or questions regarding this?
Everyone should drink more Mountain Dew.
Absolutely.
Delicious, delicious Mountain Dew, sponsoring Underdog Stream soon.
Drink 2 liters of Mountain Dew. Sterilize yourself forever.
Well, they've also made it a habit of not disclosing other things. Brian, who's been on the stream, he uncovered that Danny O'Dwyer has donated to the Patreon of Zoe Quinn and advertised basically the game on one of his so-called mini podcasts, or it's called The Point, basically. And then he had another episode where he also mentioned Zoe Quinn's game, and then he hasn't disclosed that he gave her money. So it's a shady site, to say the least.
Telling me.
The only solution when it comes to these kind of things, the only tool people have is to promote boycotts. That is the only tool. If you do anything but promote a boycott, you're not really going to solve anything. And the second thing is that I've heard you're very passionate when it comes to these codes of ethics, and you know my stance on it. But do you really think that even if they would have implemented a great code of ethics, anything would have changed?
I don't know.
Their chances are probably not.
No.
It's because they implemented it doesn't mean anything.
I would bet, exactly. Codes of ethics mean nothing. I really like what this guy from Game Politics said on a stream with Koretsky, who, believe it or not, that piece of shit. And he said that code of ethics don't mean anything. When a website gets to the point where where the public is demanding they put out a code of ethics, it's that the trust has already been broken. And you have to look at why. The trust has been broken because the people who are running the site are dishonest pricks, usually SJWs in today's environment, and there's only one solution: cleaning house. And the only way you as a consumer can get them to clean house is to promote people to leave the site. It doesn't matter if you stay around and try to, because at the end of the day, and your intentions were good, and I think you did a good job in exposing them, but you staying around didn't really fix anything. So I think this should be a lesson to everyone, that the only way to fix these things is to leave, point them out for being SJW cunts, laugh at them, and mock anybody who stays there. That's pretty much...
I had 70,000 posts on that site as well, so it just shows you how involved I was. I wasn't some random user who had 105 posts. I had over 70,000 posts. I can even if I can use the proxy. No, it's
You as a user with 70,000 posts, it would have been a lot more effective if you would have said, no, you know what, these guys aren't changing, fuck them, I'm leaving. I would tell all of you to do the same. Because now they pretty much shut down the conversation and pretty much dictated the terms. Again, I look at it as a lesson more than anything.
yeah, basically. So any other statements or questions?
I'm rating the fucking ISIS hashtag with porn. We should all join in.
So is Paris burning?
Yeah.
What the fuck's happening in Paris? I live fucking...
There's a terrorist attack, dude.
Yeah,
What
big terrorist attack.
I was fucking playing...
Basically, there were a few bombings. There was shootings at a nightclub. I believe the explosions were at the stadium where the Germany-France game was going on. There's about 100 hostages, I think, in the stadium, and the police are raiding it now.
Is it still going on?
It's ongoing right now, yes. In fact, there's an Internet Aristocrat stream going on right now talking about it.
I know that's going on, but you know I'm here.
60 people killed.
Wow. 1,200 people in that Internet Aristocrat stream. Holy shit.
So yeah, any last thoughts on this other than they fucked up?
Not really.
No, they fucked up.
Not really. They fucked up horribly.
Even I was kind of skeptical at some things at first, but no, yeah, fuck those guys. So
I mean, it's all there. You guys can go through it if you think I'm lying. It's all there. I probably have to replace one of the links because it goes to I think those two are the same type of links, but the other ones are pretty much accurate. So yeah. Do we want to move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Alright, let me find it. Let's stop sharing. Let's see. We have the Femfreq video. She did the review on Tomb Raider. And I think it's only...
Can I sum it up?
It's pretty much what we expect. Next.
Can I sum it up? Can I sum it up? Please.
Go, what?
Please. It's sexist. Okay, we're done.
Here I can share it so we have audio and video as well. Let's see.
I'm on the radio.
If we have to, I guess.
I'm on the video. Down in this song.
So you guys can see this. Let's see, and the audio.
You're gonna get DMCA so hard.
Okay, I didn't get last time, so it's fair use. Tell me if this is too loud or too, and tell me to stop or if there's something you guys want to point out. So.
I'm gonna step out.
That's just a little loud there.
Okay, I can lower it.
We made it.
Better.
That is much better.
You know, I'm actually sort of. Why are we even like giving this kind of attention? Why are we even showing this? Look at the views this thing has. We're probably getting more views than. All right, go on with that. Yes.
This is the woman who reviewed for GameSpot and it called GTA 5 misogynistic, by the way.
Yeah, but who cares about her opinion?
Well, we can ridicule her.
Go on.
Ridiculing is fun.
Manny Green, are you having background noise?
Oh, I apologize. I thought I muted myself.
There we go.
I want to hear Man and Green again.
2013's Tomb Raider reboot gave us a new, and at least superficially more human, Lara Croft. Gone were the cartoonish features and Barbie doll proportions of the legendary adventurer. The new Lara Croft looked like a real person. The story half-heartedly tried to make her act like one, too, showing her feel guilty about killing a deer early on.
Sorry.
But Lara's internal conflict was quickly swept aside as she became a walking arsenal, slaughtering enemies by the dozens with bows, pistols, shotguns, and other weapons. The first teaser trailer for the sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, showed a seemingly troubled Lara in a therapist's office.
I think we're making progress in these sessions. You say the flashbacks have stopped. This is excellent improvement.
So I hoped that this game might be that rare blockbuster action adventure that at least takes violence somewhat seriously.
Violence, seriously, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Sorry.
Cringe, cringe, cringe.
I hoped it might acknowledge that even if you were in a situation where you absolutely had to kill hundreds of really, really bad people to survive, doing so would probably leave you a little traumatized. But Rise of the Tomb Raider doesn't do that. I won't spoil exactly how the therapist actually figures into the story, but I will say that it's not in a way that suggests Lara might actually benefit from therapy after everything she's been through. In fact, there's a remarkable dissonance between Lara's attitudes in the story and the experience of playing the game. When she's asked about it, Lara asserts that she did not enjoy all the killing she did in the first game. She did it because she had no choice.
Any comments so far?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It's dumb, it's retarded, and speaking as a veteran, it's
All
actually
those
in that
bad
kind of
people.
situation. No idea what the fuck
Sounds
they're
fucking
talking about.
childish. Oh god.
No idea what the fuck they're talking about. Go on.
Killed those men back there. I killed them to survive. I suspect you did too.
But she also doesn't seem troubled about it. And of course, a ton of games put their protagonists in similarly absurd kill or be killed situations that provide an excuse for lots of gunplay. Naughty Dog's Uncharted games, for instance.
Never a dull moment, huh, Sully?
But the seriousness with which Lara is portrayed makes Tomb Raider different. Lara is not a happy-go-lucky Nathan Drake type. Drake shoots his way through his adventures with a wink and a smile, and he has a wisecrack for every occasion.
Admit it. You love all this as much as I do. Oh, crap!
We're meant to see Lara as a survivor, a person with deep, real emotions who doesn't relish violence but does what needs to be done.
I wish this pain wasn't so familiar. Like looking an old enemy in the eye. It wants to take me down. It wants me to just lie down and die. But I won't. I can't.
But meanwhile, the game revels in violence. It celebrates your marksmanship every time you shoot someone in the head. Blasts from your shotgun can send enemies flying. It all feels powerful and satisfying. Playing as Lara, you don't feel like someone desperately fighting just to survive. You feel like someone who is very, very good at killing people and doesn't hesitate to do it. The game just doesn't want to acknowledge that Lara clearly enjoys it.
Oh God, are you serious? Hold on, wait. Is he? Oh God, is he saying that she's enjoying it? And she's clearly saying that she doesn't. Let me just understand the context here.
Let me tell you how you really feel, Lara.
So.
Shut up, woman! Let me tell you how the feminists write.
He's saying that she really likes it, that she wants it, and that she's asking for it.
Putting it that way, that makes it sound extremely awkward, even more so than it already has.
He's literally saying that it makes her feel good to do it, to do something that she is saying that she does not want to do, and that she does not enjoy doing. Okay. It's just, I mean, okay.
That would mean masochist or a psychopath.
Let's listen to him. I mean, just after playing the clips, she's like, I don't want to do it. They go through echoing her trauma and how much she's disturbed by it. And then in the gameplay, it's like, oh, look, she's so powerful. And you're being rewarded for this. Look, she enjoys it. And
it's like it's called do or die. In situations like that, you're not going to think about the ramifications of what you're going to do. You just want to be able to get out of there. It's like, you know, predatory instinct, I guess you could say.
It's a bit more nuanced than that, but just what the guy is saying in this context, it's hilarious. But go on.
Well, there's a duality in basically life right now. Of course, well, not right now, all the fucking time, but of course you're gonna feed off the adrenaline at the same time you're gonna hate what you're doing. So even saying something like she's reveling in it, but she says she hates it, people do that all the fucking time.
It's kind of like going to work, like the work I do. Like, I hate having to go to work, but I like my end product. But I guess it's the opposite way around with, you know, what Laura is doing in this case.
More like a drug.
It's
more like a drug.
It's just interesting to hear this coming out of the people who claim misogyny and rape everywhere.
Well, here's what they're doing, is that they're trying to somehow put the player as the person itself. Like Tomb Raider or Lara Croft is the player that's playing her. So when we're getting achievements like headshots, they're trying to say that she's getting achievements at headshots, which is not the same thing. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're saying that. That's incorrect in almost every step and point, but you can still argue that it's still duality. It's still, you know, I'm taking this drug's bad for me, which is adrenaline, but it still makes me feel alive, and that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, but then you also have to consider the achievements are for the player to push the player on.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, but that's what they're trying to focus.
If she was actually in this position, if there's an actual person in this position, they wouldn't get a headshot and see, look, headshot, and be like, yay! No, that wouldn't happen.
You don't get achievements for real life? I do all the time. Little Xbox things pop up.
I'm getting achievements right now because I'm getting so many goddamn interactions on fucking Twitter about my fuck up ISIS. I am literally getting achievements left, right, and center.
Do we want to continue?
Absolutely.
Just to continue taking the piss out of this, might as well.
Yeah, go.
Come and try. Come on.
And the disconnect between the narrative portrayal of Lara as someone who feels things deeply and doesn't enjoy violence at all, and the gameplay's attempts to make violence as fun and explosive as possible is really jarring. Despite what she says, Lara does have a choice, and she chooses to put herself in this position.
Oh,
The
God.
invaders took many of my people prisoner. You should leave this place.
She's asking for it now.
I can't do that.
So she wants to get out of the situation, but she actually wants to stay in the situation.
That's actually the sequel. It's Tomb Raider Sit at Home and Cry About Everything edition.
Stay at home and stay in the kitchen and make me a sandwich edition.
So, even though the character is saying that she feels horrible about what she's doing and doesn't want to do it, what's being projected onto her is that she does secretly enjoy all of it, and it's all her fault. Go on.
The game expects us to believe that she views her actions as some sort of grim necessity, all the while wanting us to have a blast as it continually introduces new tools and new skills that give us exciting
Can you
new
pause
ways
right there?
to kill people.
She said the person is saying that she sees it as some kind of grim reality that she has to bear. Welcome to every superhero movie that's been made. Pretty much.
Yeah.
The people you're killing in this game are an ancient, violent sect called Trinity, with designs on controlling humanity. The story is predictable and derivative.
We age, we decay, we die. But what do we leave behind? Bones? Dust? What of the soul?
Lara's late father was obsessed with a source of eternal life associated with an ancient prophet, sort of like how Indiana Jones's father was obsessed with the Holy Grail. Lara becomes obsessed with finding this divine source of immortality too. It's all very familiar, standard adventure.
The person modeled after, God, it's just now. it's like he's just now getting that parallel. He's just, God, it hurts. Stupid. It's so stupid. Why are they reviewing games? It's
brain.
It's stupid. It hurts. Keep going.
Adventure story stuff.
I found this symbol in a tomb. I knew I'd seen it before. It was driving me insane. That's when it hit me. I saw it here, in one of Dad's books.
Trinity has big, evil helicopters and lots of mercenary dudes. No mercenary ladies, though, unfortunately.
Oh my God! Equal representation!
So let me get to this straight. They're asking for a strong protagonist that's a female, and they get it. And now they're bitching about the people they kill aren't women. Oh my,
And then they complain, oh my God, it lets you kill women!
This is why aliens don't talk to us. Jesus Christ.
Laura, Trinity will stop at nothing to find the divine source.
Where is the divine source? Tell me!
Stop! But Laura's obsessive quest for it is good because she's a good person, and Trinity's obsessive quest for it...
You know why? Because she doesn't choose to execute people like he does.
Yeah, no shit.
Fucking idiot.
Fucking miss it. God,
Laura. Oh my God. Well, anyone with two fucking brain cells. Anyone with 2 brain cells know this. Can you?
This whole review is basically someone who is trying to overanalyze Terminator. Like the duality between the robots and machines means that toasters are gonna come kill me. Therefore, this movie's bad. You know what I mean? That kind of outlook. They're trying too hard to analyze something that does not have any analysis.
So what you're saying is that they're tryhards.
Very bad.
Jesus Christ. Well, let's continue.
It is bad because they're bad people. I really wanted a villain at some point to say to Lara, we're not so different, you and I. Because in this case, it's absolutely true. The game encourages us to hate Trinity by showing them killing innocent people, which in turn makes us feel good about killing them.
Because she does that. She fucking pokes the eyes out of guys that are innocent.
We don't like them because they're killing innocent people. Like it's unfair. Like it's unfair for us to not like them because they're killing innocent people. Like
executing them, not just killing them.
They want you to feel bad because they're executing innocent people. Like, well, no shit. As opposed to what? Are they misunderstood?
Yeah, but it looks like it.
Leave them alone! They weren't bad guys, they didn't do nothing!
But the game never encourages us to consider the morality of what Lara is doing by choosing to be here and kill all these...
Ding ding ding, morale! Then we have the buzzword, morale.
It's not even consistent. It's not. She is stopping the people that are running around killing innocent civilians. There is no moral ambiguity there. I mean, morality is not black and white, but this is pretty clear cut. You know, you can't really cut this 2 different ways. They are the bad guys. That's it. I mean, they crossed the moral event horizon when they started executing innocent civilians. That's it. You can't. There's no going back from that.
You know, ironically, let's apply this argument that they're trying to make to this current situation in ISIS.
Oh God.
Or this current situation in France. Sorry, I didn't mean to say ISIS.
In Paris.
Yeah, it's like those guys attacking Paris weren't really the bad guys. Oh, the motivations of the French police. How are they any different than the?
And the military. Don't forget the military. There, they're the same. They're shooting people.
You're the bad guys for stopping them.
Exactly. It's like, are you fucking listening to what you're saying here?
Fucking idiot.
Go on.
People herself.
Cover me! Take down covering fire! You and me!
And that's too bad. The new Tomb Raider games clearly want to humanize Lara, and exploring the emotion.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Skype context.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but the humanizing Lara is just. Oh my god! Stop.
Just put yourself on busy.
Do not disturb.
Hey,
at least it's not 4 a.m. this time, Andrew.
Where is it?
Oh, that's a good question. Twilight Zone.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, the showing them that she's human. They show her with a therapist. She doesn't want to kill people. She's put in a situation again, like the first game, where there's a guy with an army going after you, and she's not human.
Fucking social justice warriors are inhuman. Good God. Go on.
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Emotional and psychological cost of what she's putting herself through would have made her seem more human.
We seem to be making a habit of saving each other.
Thanks. I'm glad you're okay. Is that the way through?
Still, there are some improvements in the way Lara is presented in Rise of the Tomb Raider. By default, she now wears clothing that's much more appropriate for the harsh elements that she finds herself in than she did in the previous game. And while Tomb Raider seemed to take an almost sadistic pleasure in making Lara suffer and putting that suffering on display with grisly death animations and excruciating injuries she sustains, Rise of the Tomb Raider doesn't delight in torturing Lara or impaling her on things.
Why was that such a big complaint about the previous game? Just because she was a woman?
Because this game also had some pretty violent... Tomb Raider has always had grisly, violent death scenes. It was always awkward and bad and... God, you remember swan diving off of like 500 feet ledges and hearing the crunch and sort of ragdoll lore when she hits the ground? That is... Oof. I still that was more visceral than some of the kind of cartoonish over the top stuff they did in the reboot, but alright. These guys don't play those games, they don't know better.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's competent and thoroughly unsurprising. There are plenty of environmental puzzles and plenty of sequences in which everything is collapsing all around you as you run, jump, or climb for your life. Lara is crafty and resourceful, able to whip up Molotov cocktails, shrapnel bombs, and other deadly devices from junk she finds lying around. Enemies are smart enough to try to flank you and flush you out when you're hiding, and you can try to be sneaky or just go in guns blazing. Oh, and the camera really doesn't deal well with close combat in tight spots.
Maybe because it's giving you a challenge, you asswipe.
You're not supposed to be shooting in close combat. They have context for that. It's idiot. I like how he just sort of writes off all of the game's merits. He's like, oh, it's a competent game, and like he's just describing these casual things that are not really casual. I mean, good AI, good enemy AI. I mean, that's good.
Good enemy AI is a huge thing.
Alright, good enemy AI is good, well-developed characters. He's just writing off the fact that she's not a stereotype. She's crafty, she's resourceful, she's a good character, blah, 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 whatever. That's not important. What's important is she's doing bad things, and I don't like it. It's just so... I mean, they're just glossing over everything that makes the game a good game. That's what strikes me here about this point. Everything that makes the game good doesn't matter.
The world of Rise of the Tomb Raider is beautiful, and I enjoyed those moments in which I felt like I was just exploring and discovering the world for the sheer beauty and enjoyment of it. I love the experience of coming around corners or climbing up ledges to behold some breathtaking new landscape. But that beautiful world is constantly reduced to being just a source of stuff to collect. There's just so...
Does she want a fucking movie? Because it sure sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean,
Yeah.
nice graphics are cool, but I mean, so all the things that make the game good, just gloss over. But he wants to splurge on the scenery and the graphics. Like, he pretty much wants a fucking movie.
I mean,
not any kind of movie, even not even an action movie, because he glossed over the cinematic points where you're running through and shit's blowing up. Like that's just casual and nothing.
Yeah.
Much stuff to collect in this game. You switch to survival instincts, look for the things that glow, and grab them. Suddenly, the world isn't this majestic, wondrous place anymore. Rather, it's a place full of little golden things you can snag for your own personal gain.
Oh,
it's almost like Tomb Raider.
Oh my god, I want to play this game.
It's almost like
the stupidest. The stupid at this point is coming through my phone and grabbing me. It's like
I mean, it's almost like it's written on the box. It's almost like she's going to these tombs to get things, to collect them. Like
maybe
she's a raider. Like she's raiding these tombs or something. I mean,
maybe she's a Tomb Raider.
She's a Tomb Raider.
Well, guys,
what? What?
You do know that a lot of this, the collectibles and stuff like that they put in in the game itself is for you to go and look at stuff. Like that's why the environment's there. Like they plant it there so you go over there to see the environment in that area. It's like that's how the games are thought of, kind of thing. Or like it's a collectible there because you're gonna go over there, you're gonna look for stuff, so you're gonna get to see the scenery, you're gonna explore scenery, and you get to interact with the scenery. That's the idea. So she's basically. Or he's basically, or whatever, is basically like, I don't know, complaining about nothing.
Complaining about the Tomb Raider raiding tombs.
There are moments in Rise of the Tomb Raider when you're solving a puzzle involving some ancient contraption, or studying ancient murals, or traversing the environment, or taking in the view. And in these moments, I admired Lara's skill and resolve. I'd like to go on more.
So look at pretty shit, forget everything else.
God.
With her. I just think she has a few issues she needs to deal with first.
Sounds like she's a shrink instead of a gamer reviewer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it sounds like someone else needs to fucking. It sounds like someone else has issues.
That's interesting. That was a guy reviewing that too, wasn't it?
Transgendered, yeah, basically, yeah. Biologically speaking, a dude, yes.
Sigh.
So, did you get any wiser of these fucking idiots?
It was pretty much what I expected. They didn't talk about the Twitch integration. They have no idea what makes a good game, don't care for it, and are just stuck on the petty shit.
Just to give a little fun fact, this guy or woman, whatever you want to call this person, used to be a reviewer for GameSpot.
Good lord.
Just let that sink in.
Aren't you glad he got banned?
No wonder it's shit.
We have some videos about some stunning journalism by CCTV.
But before we start, though, can I say one last thing about Tomb Raider?
Yeah, go ahead.
Although I haven't played it yet, and I do want to play it, I'm hoping it comes to PC pretty soon. I think the exclusivity deal ends pretty soon. There is a Twitch integration that they have on a certain mode where your Twitch viewers can actually change the way you play the game by voting on different cards for different interactions.
Yeah, basically what should I say? It's a single player, but it has online functions basically.
Which is awesome. Like games like Party Hard and Choice Chamber started doing that, and I really want more games to start that, and that seems awesome. I do enjoy that, and I do want to pick it up for that reason. And that's pretty much all I really have to say about Tomb Raider. It looks like a very functional game. I don't know anything about the story, so I can't really compare to what they said on the thing itself. But a lot of the stuff is very petty that they mentioned, and not really useful.
Yeah. So let's move on to hopefully, yeah.
Our first guest is an electronic.
I might be actually
gaming
taking off now, though, unfortunately. So have a
enthusiast.
good one, guys.
She lost
Okay.
Later, Beeps.
like playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. At only 17 years old, she became one of the precious few females traveling to competitions and conventions. Lillien Chen not only liked the competition, she liked the community too. But she hasn't been immune to the ugly side of the gaming world.
Guess what? Guess what the ugly side is?
What?
You'll see in
Soggy
Lillien's
knees.
recent TED Talk, as much as she loved her community, she couldn't let the darker sides go unnoticed.
In the gaming community, I was known by my gamer tag Milk Tea. But in real life, I was still very much just Lillian. When I was 17, I was shy and quiet, and I was often bullied by my classmates for being different, for being Asian. Some of them made fun of the clothes I wore. Others asked me out on dates as a joke. Another called me a Chinese prostitute. But when I was Milk Tea, I was part of a community that welcomed and accepted me. Except, what's missing from this picture?
Oh no. What's missing from this picture?
Everything.
Well, it's not women because there's a few of them in there, but go on.
Do you see any women?
Yes, at
Great
least.
question, isn't it? Although over 50% of electronic gamers are women, they can still be treated as a minority and they face harassment. Lillian took on the problem head on with empathy. She's here to tell us why. Lillian Chen, welcome to Full.
Excellent journalism, right, guys? Am I right?
Raymond, I'll start calling you Lil because I know that's what you prefer to be called. Talk to me about this love affair. When did it start? When did you realize that you just really love gaming?
So gaming was always like a social hobby for me. My younger brother was always into gaming, and he would buy all the games and beg our mom to get him Super Smash Brothers. And back then, we would hang out in the back room of our family restaurant, and there I would just watch him beat all these games. You know how sometimes there can be a backseat driver? I was kind of the equivalent of that for gaming. And she'd be like, no, go that way. Wait, dodge that bad guy over there. And that's how I grew to love gaming. So he did most of the playing until we bought Smash Melee. He was the one who earned and unlocked all the stages, all the characters, and then I would just come into the room and beat him. So.
And so you get really good at it, and you decide to compete. And you talked about that in your TED Talk. You did pretty well right out of the gate, didn't you?
I did all right. I didn't, at my first tournament, I don't think I even placed last place, which is like score. I don't know how that happened.
But as you pointed out in that picture, this is this wide open terrain. You love it, but there aren't a lot of Lils out there, Lillians. There aren't a lot of Melanies or Melodies. I mean, it's a pretty much male-dominated when you get to the conventions.
So again, at the beginning of the interview, you said it was 50-50. Now it's moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
At least in these occurrences, these competitions, it's just a lot of guys, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say when I was very, very active, maybe around 2007 and 8, there were very few women. But luckily, I just came back from a tournament in Vegas, and there are so many women contributing to the community now. It's this gender ratio is still skewed, but it's getting better by the day.
And you talked about being shy, about being quiet, about being bullied. And then you get into this community, and you're accepted, and then you start to see kind of the darker side. Can you walk us through what it was like initially, and then what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I just got really fed up with the way I was being treated at school. And so when I jumped into this community, being a woman, I got a lot of excess attention, and that is not something I'll deny. It was both good and bad. And as a 17-year-old, I couldn't really differentiate between the two. It's just like, wow, all these boys are saying these nice things about me. This is great. This is so much better than school. And as I got older and I watched the comments and their undertones change, I started to realize that they weren't always coming from a good place. And that's how I became very aware of what was really happening.
Misogynistic.
I'm not so sure it was genuine misogyny so much as like, you know, when something is in the room and it's different than everything else, treatment is bound to be different.
And you said that it even kind of skewed how you treated other women or females. How so?
Oh, so absolutely. I think as one of the few women growing up in the gaming community, I tried to blend in with my environment, which means I tried to be a tomboy, and I call it being one of the bros. So I would poke fun at other women with my friends, like,
Being
oh,
one
she's
of
so
the
girly.
bros.
Oh, she's not that good.
Yeah, being one of the bros is so dirty. I hate myself because I felt the guy with one of the bros. Oh my god.
Shit, this is internalized misogyny, guys.
Pretty much.
Am I right?
Basically.
Good at the game, and say all these things where I just pit women against each other, myself included. Not really aware of this until I grew older.
So what was the epiphany? What was the kind of the turning point where you started to see it differently?
A lot of reading online and seeing these parallels in other cultures and other subcultures, just seeing how women are very much pit against each other, and somehow what's perceived to be stereotypically feminine is somehow a negative, which it shouldn't be. And I realized I was also upholding these views, that somehow I'm supposed to be taken more seriously because I'm a tomboy. And I realized how foolish that sounded.
But what's interesting is you talk about approaching this with empathy, because I think that what ends up happening a lot in society is that this side's on this side and this side's on this side, and everybody's kind of demonizing one another. And I think I spoke to somebody who's a journalist who's covered the gaming community, and you know, I thought...
A journalist, and quotation marks, probably.
Yeah. And scare quotes. Quote journalist.
Journalism.
It was fantastic how open you were, talking about you were shy and kind of, you know, maybe awkward. But this person who covers it was saying that a lot of the guys are socially awkward and really don't know how to interact. For you to kind of turn it and kind of look at it through that prism instead of they're the bad guys, I think that's kind of unique. So talk to us about taking it on with empathy. I mean, was that a conscious decision? Is it just something that formulated over time?
So, for starters, I am still shy and awkward, but I guess how I see it is the way I was raised in the community, having been outcast from school, finding this niche scene, harboring a lot of their beliefs and views, and becoming one of them. It's like I've been down the whole path, but because I'm a woman, I somehow like popped back out of the path. So when I see a lot of people seemingly sexist or misogynistic, I don't see them as always malicious. I see a little bit of my former self in them. And
okay, guys, we aren't aware that we're evil people. What do you guys say to that?
I don't know about that.
I say bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even some of my friends have made remarks, and all I do is have a conversation with them. Empathy is a tricky thing, but I think it can help bridge this gap between what appears now to be such polarizing sides. It's like all of a sudden in 2015 it's feminism versus gaming. There's no middle ground anymore, and I really...
Because you idiots don't have a middle ground. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at the review.
You fuckers are the ones that are like, no, there's no neutral side on Gamergate. There's no neutrals. It's either us versus them. You're either with us or against us. So if you want to get pissed at someone for removing the fucking middle ground, it's you assholes.
Pretty much. And just look at the review we just looked at. Look at Gamespot, who fucking banned me for being SJWs. Because they couldn't fucking handle criticism. They want their fucking safe space. There's no fucking middle, but you can't even talk to these people with rational conversation by presenting your argument with evidence and well thought out arguments in the debate, and you get fucking banned. Fuck you.
Really want that to change. There has to be a middle ground.
Well, and And if your message was only resonating with women and not hitting the guys, you're not accomplishing a lot either, are you?
No, it's actually really tricky. I think both sides need to start empathizing with each other, and I do realize what I ask is a little unfair, right? It's a little unfair to ask people who have been bullied or harassed, hey, can you have a little bit of empathy for the people who are doing this to you? But I still think it would be very productive to do so, whether fair or not. But it is a tricky conversation to navigate because empathy is limited. Mine is limited too. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep up holding this message because my patience will wear thin.
Yeah. You blogged about this, and when you put something out there, you don't really know what the reaction is going to be. So talk to me about what your thoughts were when you first put it out there. Like, how is this going to be received? And then the reception, were you surprised at it?
Yeah, so my first...
I just have to say, this is one of the more, would you say, irrational interviews. Because you have one with Mary Sue and one with Brianna Wu. You guys want to skip to those?
If we want to really do that.
This is interesting to actually hear from her because I like how she sort of, because the commentator there, he's baiting with a couple of cues and she's not taking them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
she's not just going along with the narrative completely.
Yeah, those are such softball questions and arguments that it's not hard to actually have a conversation about this. There's nothing critical about this so-called journalism. So
this post was kind of an experience of my experience, my story. And nobody really knows this, but I wasn't putting it out there to get attention or to even send out a message. I just had this growing resentment towards my community. And people started to notice that I was very bitter. And I decided one day I owed them an explanation. It was time to stop being shy and quiet and just tell them. And when I posted it to my personal Facebook, I got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of women saying they felt similar. And it was that moment I realized, why hide this if people can relate and it could help somebody else? And that's when I published it. I got a lot of women messaging me.
How can you be a retired gamer?
Beats me.
And besides, if you have such a problem with your community, find a different one. Like, find another game to play. Is it that hard?
Apparently it is. It's very fucking hard. Because you have to retire from a game which I don't know is keeping women down or whatever the fuck. Oh my god.
Thanking me, saying, this nails my experience dead on. I can almost relate to every point you make. And of course, I got the vocal minority of like, what are you doing this? Get used to it. Get thicker.
Again, minority. They just said it was 50-50.
They can't keep up with their own fucking lies.
Skin, but for the most part, I got a lot of retweets and responses like, wow, this is one of the more fairer posts I've seen written. And I think the thing that shocked me most was some people were even like, hey, I was about to exit your post until I saw your disclaimer that you and women exhibit these behaviors too.
You were getting some positive responses from the guys too, so you were breaking through.
I was, and sometimes I doubt myself, and I doubt if this is even making a difference, especially under times of pressure or when I'm really facing the heat of the backlash. But again, I came back from this weekend's tournament, and so many people walked up to me, and they're like, listen, I just need to tell you that I really respect what you do. And it still shocks me that people believe that.
Well, I want to ask you about the new meta. Tell me what that is, and I guess it's sort of kind of an offshoot of all of this. How did that come about? And describe it for our viewers.
Yeah, sure. So the new meta is a panel that I co-founded with the NYU Game Center. It actually all started because I went to an esports panel on site at their...
How is she a designer?
I have no idea.
Isn't she a gamer? I'm like, okay.
College, and the professor recognized me, and together we decided to put this together. The main goal was to talk about issues regarding gender inequality in a way that was not shaming gamers, male or female. I just wanted to bring attention to these issues.
Just tell me, how is there gender inequality in gaming? Please, someone explain that to me. How the fuck is there gender inequality in gaming? Oh my god.
No idea.
Oh my god.
My neutral way, but that was maybe a year or two ago, and very important for the first step, which is awareness. And I think now it's time to kind of scoot past awareness into action.
Yeah. Just leaving Vegas, did you come away with a better sense of the future for women gamers?
I think so. It's incredible.
You had to wait, though, to answer that. So you're still a little bit... It's still out there.
I think it's out there, but I might be biased because I am taking a lot of the heat since.
At least she admitted it too.
I was just gonna say, you might be biased. Do you think?
I'm one of the more focused on messengers of relaying this message, but so many women were there, and I didn't even know some of them. That's insane. Like, there are just so many women involved in Smash now.
And then they came to you, and they're...
And again, who the fuck is stopping the... Oh my god, I'm just stopping it right here. What the actual fuck? What do you guys think of this?
That one wasn't bad. She's actually pretty fair. I mean, she's speaking to some legitimate issues. Most importantly, she's not taking the bait from the moderator or whoever the fuck that guy is. And I mean, contrast.
That is true.
Yeah, I like it.
This is among the fairer ones that she's doing, though. The guy is just like, yeah, he's baiting, and she's not really taking it. So at least gonna give her that.
Yeah, at least that. So as I said, this is the most rational of these videos.
The global video game market is exploding. Financial experts say it will reach over $110 billion in 2015. Growth and profits are predicted to only increase in the coming years. So up-to-date coverage on this fast-moving, high-stakes, and often controversial industry is critical. Investors, developers, techies, and gamers live and breathe this form of journalism. No one knows this better than journalist Maddie Myers. Myers reviews games and reports on breaking news as the assistant games editor at Pace Magazine. She's here to discuss these gender disparities and what can be done at leveling the playing field. Welcome. Great to have you on the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
As I did that introduction, I can't think of a more vibrant, exciting business to cover as a journalist. And you love the games, obviously, to be interested in this.
Of course.
Tell me about covering this industry. It seems like the perfect job.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? When I started out after college, I thought that it would be the perfect job, and I started at the Boston Phoenix, actually, not Paste, and it wasn't until I was working in the industry for a couple of years that I started to notice that there was a gender disparity in terms of which journalists were covering games, which journalists were getting hired, and who was showing up on really popular video game sites' mastheads, mostly men, mostly white men. And I also noticed that when I was covering stories...
You want to comment?
Mostly white men. Yes, just blame them on everything, why don't you?
Yep. You cishet faggots.
I would be treated like an outsider by the people whose events I was covering and whose games I was covering. I would be treated as though I didn't know anything about games and as though I didn't play games, even though I had played them my whole life and now I cover them for a living. And so it's interesting to be going into your field and covering your topic on the assumption that you don't know anything about it. And it took me a couple of years of working in the field before I finally had to accept that sexism was real. Like, I went into
Sorry, what? Maybe they're just excited about what they do.
Well, hold on. It's like she acts like it's this big fucking thing that she be accepted for a gamer and everything, and that they don't treat her like she knows anything. Well, when you've got examples of people that I can't remember his name, but there was that guy that thought that the new Nathan Drake game or whatever was the old one.
Uh-huh.
And it's just kind of like, well, when you have journalists like that are rife throughout the fucking industry that literally do not know what they're talking about, I can't blame everyone,
Well, I'm still saying, it's like, what if they're trying to explain why they like what's going on, and then they just kind of naturally go into details about gaming?
Right.
It's or whatever game it is they're playing, or game mechanics, what have you. Why does it have to be immediately antagonistic?
Right.
Because you got to bitch about something.
I bet it's went something like this when another game journalist came over to her. Hey, my name is blah blah blah. What do you play? What do you mean? And what games do you play? Not a lot. So you don't play games and you write for them? Oh my God, sexism!
Right.
That's probably what happened. Fucking
misogyny. Not being aware of sexism, not really being aware of feminism at all, but working in the industry for a couple of years was sadly what taught me that it was real.
And also the moniker that's heard
feminism
quite a
relevant?
bit, girl gamer.
I was just saying the same thing. Feminism is not relevant to this.
Why the fuck is that conflated with that at all? I mean, I could maybe tangentially see it being related, but they aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
By far, they're different.
It's a very negative connotation in a sense too, correct?
It is, because why couldn't we just be called gamers, right? Why do we have to have that extra...
Because you're called gamers if you play games, you fucking idiot.
No, better yet, because you ruined the word gamer and labeled it and basically attributed the word gamer to the same thing as terrorism, you fucks.
Well, just on its own, the only people who need anything beyond the title gamer are those who, need something beyond the title gamer.
Yeah. I like how he's complaining about an issue that the industry she works for, that she personally... I want to look up some of the articles she's written before this, because I guarantee you she's probably done something to contribute to that.
Oh, boy.
It's like, why is this such a problem? Oh, no, it's horrible. It's like, well, let's see. Why is this stereotype in place? Oh, gee, is it the media that's portraying this? Possibly. I like how they just ignore the fact that some of the most celebrated games in history have female leads behind them, have female developers. I mean, women have been part of this community and part of the industry for a very long time. And
beginning.
Amy Hennig with the Legacy of Kain and Uncharted.
I mean, it's one thing to say that it's a minority and that you wish more were in it. I mean, that's cool. We do too. But she can fuck off.
Girl part on top of it, and also
Plus,
girl
I
is...
want to point out you're a woman.
Of course,
Exactly.
girl is a very infantile...
Oh no, nobody fucking noticed that.
Yeah, nobody noticed that was a woman. I mean, obvious.
That, and was it all the guys saying you're just a girl gamer, or was it the female gamer saying, well, I'm a girl gamer? There has to be some level of responsibility for the labeling you're willing to accept.
I don't know. I don't
As a word that I've tried to distance myself from. At least here in America, it seems like people will continue to call women girls well into their 30s, but I think we should stop doing that. I'd prefer to just be called a gamer, or better yet, game critic, game journalist. But even the word gamer has a lot of negative connotations now, and even within gaming it does. There's a lot of...
Huh?
Oh, gamer has a lot of negative connotations now. Well, yeah, because gamers are dead. Oh, gamers are terrorists. They're misogynists. Fuck off.
And a comment on being called a girl well into your 30s. Isn't there a store called Forever 21 where you decide to deny your age anyway?
Yeah, and our like, yeah, just...
You can't have your cake and eat it too on this one. Pick one.
Pick one, bitch.
gatekeeping and goalpost moving about who gets to identify as a gamer, and most often women.
I mean, I cannot refuse any of you guys in this chat to call yourself a gamer. What are you gonna do? All you can do is to tell me to fuck off.
No. You tell me I'm not a gamer. Allahu Akbar, faggot.
Yeah, I mean, this is so fucking. Oh my.
I think what they're having issue with is that they're running around as journalists and as mostly hipsters, as people who are outside of the culture, coming in, trying to claim and redefine the term. You have people who know nothing about the culture, who know nothing about games in general, who know nothing about what they're talking about, saying, "Oh, hey, I'm just as much a gamer as you." It's like, that's really when hairs are cut and lines are drawn. It's like,
and I'm just as much a reporter.
Right? Really?
Well,
let's talk a little bit about the conventions, because you obviously have to go and cover them,
Mhm.
but you don't cover them as a woman or a girl, because I've seen a picture, you cover them sort of as a tomboy. I mean, talk to us about, I mean, you're dressed one way.
A tomboy is still a
you're
fucking woman.
comfortable in this uniform,
Of
your
course.
regular way that you dress, but you have to wear kind of a uniform to go cover
Right,
these.
right.
Talk to us about that.
I think that femininity is just so devalued in this male-dominated pastime of gaming that women feel really pressured to dress in a gender-neutral way, and gender-neutral means masculine, honest.
Yeah,
You
citation
should
fucking need
dress
it.
that way, dumbass.
No, I mean,
if that was really true, then she should be fucking out there and dressing how she normally would and not dressing like a tomboy. If she thought that this is a really big issue, then she shouldn't be dressing the way she's dressing. Fuck off, you hypocrite.
Well, no, so I say by who in part as an accusation. Seriously, just to throw the 2 cents out there, wouldn't it be others who are shaming to keep some sort of distinction for themselves? I mean, how can you be a girl gamer if you're indistinguishable from all the other gamers?
Right.
I don't fucking.
I should just say masculine way. They are pressured to wear pants, and anytime I wear a skirt to a convention when I'm covering it, I am absolutely taken less seriously. And I'm already starting at a disadvantage when I'm interviewing people. They already assume I don't play games, that I'm some PR girl, that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I have to dress the part. I have to
you
wear
just secretary to get the copy,
pants.
right?
At this point in my career, though, I've been doing it long enough, almost a decade, that I feel like I'm just going to wear what I want. So lots of times, even when I cover cons, I wear a skirt and I just go out guns blazing and I say, I'm a woman. You're going to have to deal with it. I'm the person interviewing you. You are going to have to grow up about this.
You do know there are booth babes that the likes of you are trying to fucking ban. You fucking hypocrite.
Not only that, but there's actually female announcers and stuff for like the esports, like League of Legends and Dota.
Oh.
And they know what they're talking about, so she can go fuck herself.
But talk to me about the disparity, because the games, if there was a woman in a game like that, they wouldn't, because they're uber sexual, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. But that's because
Citation fucking needed. And
Yeah,
what
no
the fuck is wrong? Well, what the fuck is wrong with that? Either way,
Nothing.
you can ignore the game. Oh my god, we just watched the Tomb Raider. She's not fucking sexualized, isn't that? Play that fucking game, you idiot.
But that's
games are
problematic,
still
Info.
Oh my god.
marketed by people who assume that they want to get that teenage boy audience. And the irony, if as you
Actually, the smallest audience are teenage boys. The biggest audience are 32, 33-year-old males. You idiots.
know, because you've done your research, I'm sure, is that a lot of women are playing these games anyway, even though they're not marketed for us. And even though they're...
And there's nothing...
That's not true. The majority of that demographic is playing the casual mobile, non-multiplayer.
Yes.
Also, like, who's showing up, like, when you put the game in your computer or Xbox, what have you, and telling you, oh, no, I need to check your genitalia first in your own home?
Yeah. Yep.
Or, what about, like, when you're online? Do you have to sit there and start off by saying what's between your legs?
I need to see your badge certification. I need to see your badge of certification that you have a dick and balls, guys.
I mean, I don't introduce myself like that to people, and text doesn't exactly have a male or female tone to it.
Yep.
Built on these really sexist, really outdated tropes about how women should dress and how they should look. Women are still enjoying the game part of it, so we'll just buy it for that and ignore these sexist tropes. But it's really a shame that they're still there.
Wait.
Let me ask you
They
about
buy a game to play it? That's fucking scary.
Oh, man.
Seriously.
I don't even know.
I want to get deeper into women and their role in video games, but I want to go back to this article because when I read it, I thought it was fantastic. But I'm sensing that the guys probably read it and were like, "What was the response?"
Isn't that the response that I get to everything I've ever written, though? I mean, what can I really do with that? Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times when I talk about any type of sexism that I've experienced in my own field or just on a con floor when I'm doing interviews or whatever, the response from guys is, that's not real, that can't possibly happen. Like, guys just don't think that it's really happening. And I hate having to talk about harassment or people talking down to me because then that just becomes the only thing that people associate.
Do you know what you do if you're getting harassed? Go to the fucking police.
Also, it's not the only thing you have to talk about. If they're asking you about it, well, you can always say, it's here's such and such happened. But anyway, here's this thing about this game.
If it's the only thing you're writing about, then it's what you're going to be associated with. In fact, you're here using this as a pedestal to preach about it. And I like that little remark about the response to everything she's ever written, as in candid admission that she's probably shit, and that's why. Oh God, never mind. Go on.
With me, they don't even talk about my work anymore. They just think of me as, oh, Maddie Myers got harassed, and we're all going to focus on that. But otherwise, people don't know that it happens. Do you know what I mean? People just don't believe that women are actually mistreated in the field, and they don't understand why there are so few women games journalists, because we do know that a lot of women play games, leaving aside the way that women are portrayed in games for the moment. We know.
Why are there? She's like, they don't understand why there's so few, women's games journalists. Well, a lot of feminists are arguing, why aren't there more women in STEM? And then they're going into gender studies. Maybe there's not more women journalists because they're all going into fucking gender studies. Who knows?
Also, I like that it's it might just be that this topic came up and she's more passionate, but still you can tell that she's far less passionate about games in this respect than she is about her own personal issues regarding harassment or gender or what have you. Clearly games are kind of a byproduct of this, as in she saw a place where she can talk about her other more closely held personal issues.
That too.
Know that women are still playing games. So then why are there so few women journalists? Why are there so few women in the games industry? It's because the people who work in those industries, the men who work in those industries, are very condescending and treat women.
Citation fucking needed.
That's beautiful.
Citation fucking needed.
Like they don't belong there, and like they're not smart enough to be there.
I'm old enough to remember women going into the locker room covering sports, professional basketball or football, and you think that those barriers are erased by the time you arrive. I mean, how stunning is it that, and I'm sure if you sat down with an older sports columnist who was there early on, one of these women journalists, they probably have similar stories that you have right now, but this is 2015.
No, I know. I think there are actually a lot of similarities there because games are a competitive pastime and there is a lot of association with anything competitive being inherently masculine. I don't think that's true. I think women enjoy competition just as much as the next guy.
We know that. We've been to high school.
To this day, I think. And we assume women don't like competitive games and that there's nothing there for them. And we have to get away from that stereotype. We just have to, because it's not, there's no basis in reality for it. And we just have to get used to the idea of women being experts on games.
Hold on. Pause. You mean to tell me that women are making the top of ladders in competitive games, and it's the gamers who are suddenly unaware that women can be professionals and are good at games.
Right.
It's
not only that, but it's like
this is our problem.
Not only that, but she's like, people are going to have to get used to that women are experts as well. And it's like, it's not about whether they're women or not. It's whether they're actually expert. You know, it's not about, gender equality. It's about merit. You're only an expert if you know what the fuck you're talking about, dumbass.
Seriously, I mean, the fact that women can make it to the top of ladders just kind of demonstrates it. I mean, no one's going to look at your record and say, oh, hey, you're a female, you can't pass. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Your sex is not a factor in your KD ratio, all right?
Oh my god, that's one of the best things I've ever heard.
You know, I heard that they're gonna make. I heard that they're gonna make your gender some kind of currency in World of Warcraft soon.
God,
you're gonna turn it in for faction items.
Women are only awarded for 77% of their kills in Call of Duty.
They have a 0.77 kill death ratio.
You know what? You know what the real travesty is? That all of those dragon whelps that Leroy Jenkins killed were all women. How dare he? What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let's
get
Well, you'll probably say we have to get away from these numbers too, because I want to go to them. Let's talk about the gaming
let's talk about the numbers.
workplace. I mean, and the numbers are pretty drastic here. There they are. They're coming up. Men account for 76% of game developers. That's by gender.
I would like to ask them to put up, let's say nurses or preschool teachers and put them side by side.
Construction workers, sewer workers, coal miners, etc., etc.
Yes.
Yeah, garbage men.
Coal work, mine, people who work in mines.
Yeah, basically coal miners, sewage workers, trash collectors, oil rig workers.
And you know, there's also a discrepancy in gender studies.
Yeah, it's like you really do not see almost any women working on oil rigs. And if I remember correctly, oil rig jobs are considered some of the most deadly in the world because they're so fucking dangerous.
Actually, I had a friend who was on an oil rig off the Australian coast for a while. I mean,
well, I live in Norway. A lot of men work offshore here.
So no, she did really good in undergrad, so it was cool that she was out there.
Yeah. If that's the profession she wants to go in, by all means, power to her.
Engineer.
Well, damn straight.
We don't give a shit if what's between your legs, just as long as you can do the fucking work.
Yeah, they don't give a shit what's between your legs, just what's between your ears.
Women, 22%. Androgynous, transgender, 2%. It's surprising to me, probably not surprising to you. Is this the industry's dirty little secret?
I think that people actually assume that that is the statistic of who plays games. I would say that far from being a dirty little secret, I think people assume that mostly men play games and that women are not interested in them, and therefore it's okay that game developers...
Citation fucking needed.
It's painful.
It's like they're completely ignoring the fact that that's how it was in the 80s and 90s. Like, it was mostly men.
What they're trying to imply or presume here is that there's some sort of artificial barrier that is responsible for this, that there's something unfair, that it's not a consequence of just fewer people applying for these positions or attempting. It's like,
or not being able to match the criteria that the business is looking for.
That too. I mean, it's just why don't you can literally make you can become a game dev if you think there's a problem. You can do something about this.
And there were female game devs back in the 80s. I mean, the creator of River Raid was a lady.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I think one of the lead programmers for the game Centipede was a woman.
Yep.
And the woman who basically introduced stories, I think it's called King's Quest, who had the first real story, was a female who wrote the story for the game.
See, it's irritating that it's the investigative journalists, in air quotes around here, that fail to have asked these fundamental fucking questions. before making these sweeping assumptions with very poor infographics. It's like, do your fucking job.
Game journalists are mostly men. But that's just not true. Because if you look at the numbers for who plays games, even hardcore competitive games, women are not just playing cell phone games. They're not just playing Facebook games. They're also playing Call of Duty. They're playing World of Warcraft. They're playing Halo. They're playing violent games. They're buying Grand Theft Auto. Like, women are interested in those things.
There it is, Grand Theft Auto.
They have to also be involved in the process of making them.
I knew that would come up eventually. Oh, it's so violent.
I mean, what the fuck, dude? Does it have to be a stereotype for...
The thing is, a lot of women play these games, but it's not like they're shouting from the rooftops, "Hey, I play violent video games." They just play the games. They don't...
Yeah,
It's
not
on a
everyone is a
badge.
fucking... Not everyone wants a soapbox to, get attention.
Well, some people do. But we
I know,
know
but not everyone.
Because we can see from the way that these games are structured that it's not expected that women are playing them. It's very rare that there are women characters in these games.
Who the fuck is stopping women? Oh my god.
You cannot play...
I think my new mission in life is to stop all women from playing any video game. I'm just going to push them away from the screen and be like, I need to protect you from the terrible secret of this video game.
You know what, guys? I've made it my life's duty to resurrect the Blitzkrieg, and we are going to go all fucking Nazi Germany on this shit. Let's do it.
She's complaining about female characters in Call of Duty. The game about the American military that does not have women in the infantry. And, oh god, idiots. And then look everywhere outside of Call of Duty, even in Grand Theft Auto, which surprisingly has some rather powerful and well-developed female characters for all that they complain about it, showing that, once again, they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They don't know. They don't know. They don't see them because they don't play the games. They don't know about them because they don't play the game. They don't play games. You cannot honestly believe these things if you play the games. And it's not like they're hard to find. That is why these people are constantly being, nailed for not being gamers and whatnot. It's because they fundamentally display this lack of very basic knowledge about games and gaming. They're just pulling it all out of their ass. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It's so
Destiny, the most recent game, only now has introduced the option to play as women in multiplayer.
Oh, bullshit! 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 Bullshit!
Oh, so that's demonstrably false. Demonstrably false.
Objection.
Have you heard of a game? Have you heard of a game called World of Warcraft, perhaps, where you can pick a race and choose a gender right at the start of the fucking game, which is online?
Hey, even better, Fallout.
Hey, remember Rainbow
Fallout
Six
since the very
Vegas?
first game, Fallout.
Remember Rainbow Six Vegas? Yeah, you could. That multiplayer online that allowed you to even. Oh god.
I have an old DOS game upstairs that it was like a crosswordy type educational game. That game allowed you to choose to be a girl. So 1986-ish. Yeah,
By the way,
we're still doing this.
Remember
hold
Pokemon?
on, Ice Climbers have a main female character?
They do.
I think so.
Ice Climbers, yeah.
Yeah, Ice Climbers is a boy and girl team.
Yeah. It's a brother and sister, right?
Hey,
I think
remember Pokemon? The very first question you asked?
Yeah, that's true.
Boy or girl?
Are you a boy or are you a girl?
Problematic. It's fluid.
And RPGs it gives you an option to choose between a man and a woman. You fucking idiot.
Text adventures back when it was just fucking DOS.
Yep.
So really, there is no point at which what she's saying could even be.
She just shows she's not a fucking gamer. She's not a fucking gamer.
And even if there isn't a game that has what she wants, then make the game of what you want to see in it. Like, it's not as if you're working with a medium where you can't just make something that you want to see out there. But apparently it's easier to bitch about it than it is to actually make something.
And the stories themselves, the narrative campaigns in these games, are nearly
Of course it's Call of Duty, for fuck's sake.
always focused on a man, usually a white man,
Oh,
usually
Splinter Cell, sorry.
a straight man, and his story. And sometimes there will be a woman there who's a secondary character, a tertiary character, but she's not important to the story. It's very
Name what game that is. She can, for fuck's sake.
rare that we see a mainstream.
Well, why
game.
does she have to be important to the story?
So the stories, the narratives in the games themselves need to change. Obviously.
That's right. And I think that having more women on staff at these development studios would absolutely help people feel more comfortable writing
Yeah,
stories.
I have to
about women.
disagree with that
Also,
right
we
there.
have
How?
The stories need to change. No. The stories do not need to change. Artistic freedom, you fucking bitch.
I think I understand. Well, I have to go soon, but let me just leave it with this. I think I understand something. Thinking back to the Tomb Raider bit and how the guy was critiquing it or treating it like it was a movie more so than a game, that seems to be the approach that a lot of them are taking, this sort of film critic approach, because a lot of what they're complaining about, they are valid criticisms of old films and a lot of old movies, which, you know, Hollywood's generally shit, so okay, but they're just taking that and assuming that a lot of gaming media has, they're treating it the same. They're just treating it the same. They're not even bothering to even experience the medium except in the most superficial way. They're just saying, "Oh, hey, there's the same problems there," and
yeah, pretty much.
And even the games that they point to as the most problematic, it's not like they have to butcher and misconstrue and just really twist things to even really get them to fit the narrative, because nothing really fits what they're describing. It is demonstrably false. There is no point in history in which half of what she's complaining about is even true, and the other half of it is just, oh god, it's so dumb. Actually, has she said anything? Has she said anything really that's valid?
No, pretty much. Just I have to go to the bathroom real quick. Just continue.
No, I'm serious. Has she full benefit of the doubt, devil's advocate here, go for it. Has she said anything at this point which is remotely valid?
If she has, I haven't paid enough attention apparently because nothing grabs my attention.
If she is, it's so minor it wasn't even worth remembering.
But I mean, this most recent point she makes, where she starts to say like, "Oh well, you know, studios need to hire more female developers or female talents." Like, okay, so if you add another 20, well, okay, let's say add another 10 females to a development team, what is that going to do? Is that going to make the game change? Is 10 more opinions going to do something for the game? Like, it's not adding more women to a development team that makes the game change. It's what those 10 women bring to the development team that makes the game change. So any person invested in the game is going to be like, okay, so you've hired 10 more women. What are they going? What ideas do they have? And if all 10 of them have terrible ideas, guess what? You've just wasted our time by adding 10 more people that aren't going to do anything other than just.
And not only that, but
space.
the managers that are in charge of hiring are going to be asking that exact same question. What are you going to bring to the table, and why should I hire you?
I mean, I work at a company that has a lot of women working in sales and tech positions, and they all bring their respective talents and skills to the company and make them do really good jobs with it. You know, we've definitely hired men who were terrible and shit and quit within weeks. But that's the thing. It's like it's not gender that you should be looking at. It's their skills and qualifications. And that's what I feel like most of these, these women look at. They only look at the surface. They don't look at anything beneath.
Alright, let's finish this off.
Those games, because men just don't know how to cover these games that are women's stories by women. Like I don't know why that is, because I don't actually think there are that many differences between men and women and their interests.
Hold on.
I don't think women are.
Okay, so
In this
who's,
thread, we
who's
don't
biased
understand
now? Who's biased now?
Did she just dismantle the last point that she tried to make with this?
Sorry, that sounded a little bit sexist to me.
Pretty much.
Guys are stupid. They don't know what to
What an
do.
asshole.
I am stupid. I don't know what to do either. It's true.
Mysterious or anything, but for whatever reason, the gender disparity has resulted in this strange feedback loop where games are by men and assumed to be for men, and then they just keep churning out the same old boring stories about a guy saving the world and killing a billion aliens. And how many times can we play that? I mean,
So can we come out with games where the women actually kill a billion aliens? I mean, is that what you want? You want like, I go to this, I want to go into this store.
Holy shit!
Okay.
The problem with Call of Duty,
Hold up a second.
The problem with Call of Duty isn't that it's shit rehashed over and over again. It's that it's male shit rehashed. So Call of Duty is shit because of patriarchy. There we go, guys. Problem solved. That's it.
You know, and the thing is, I'll actually kind of agree with her on this point. Sure, that those styles of games are overdone quite a bit. But if that's the case, then aren't you focusing on the games that break away from that mold and do something differently? Oh well, they're not conforming to what I think, therefore I ignore them. Yeah, okay, cherry picking at its finest.
Call of Duty gets bashed hardcore repeatedly. Even fucking Shiltaku has stepped up complaining about people knocking Call of Duty for being old, boring, rehashed shit. And
Well, they keep making it though because 12-year-old boys keep playing it. So I mean, if I was sitting on a literal cash cow, I'm gonna keep milking that thing till it's goddamn dry.
Yeah, that's how.
I mean, that's just capitalist money bags me, but
Let's just try to watch this and give our final thoughts on this.
My men's bracket, you get your women's, or should it be?
That's kind of depressing.
I know. Well, that's my
Yeah.
point. But don't you think that those guys would probably be okay if 98% of it is this and 2% of the women get to kill the aliens?
You would think, but actually, in my experience, male gamers get very upset and territorial about even the smallest of games that
2%
women
too
have
much.
made in games.
Metroid, one of the most celebrated and best game series in gaming history, is literally a woman running around blowing up aliens.
Halo is run by a woman.
How do you not? Bayonetta is literally a woman running around blowing up what is functionally demons and aliens. One of the most celebrated games in recent history. Should have gotten Game of the Year over the Inquisition.
Yeah, and Halo is run by a female, and there was a female who did the graphics engine for Halo, and she's now at Naughty Dog. You have Amy Hennig, you have the Jade Ramone, the woman now at Visceral, doing the new Star Wars game. You have, I mean, you have so many talented women, and asswipes like her. Oh my God, sing this shit.
If you read the internet, you would think that we were taking over the world because they see one article about gender in games, a week or even a month on Kotaku or whatever
on the same fucking day.
and they just think, oh my God, this is too much. I've never read an article about gender in games. I never want to think about this, la la la. So they are terrified of even the idea of women coming into these spaces.
Well, I suspect that you're going to continue to keep stabbing away, so I think you'll change attitudes and hopefully the game's over.
Oh my God.
Well, she changed my attitude about her.
Yeah, no shit.
I like the lipstick ad that was going on behind her though, outside.
That's funny. And fitting because it's fucking cheap. Just superficial crap like she is. God.
Do you wanna depart since you said you have to go?
Yeah, I gotta go. But it's good fun.
Yeah, we're gonna finish the last video and then call it a night.
All right. Good luck to you guys. I'll talk to you.
See ya.
See you around
Yeah.
the game.
See you later.
etc.
Just an update for those watching. 140 people confirmed killed in France, in Paris.
Jesus.
And they are apparently going in. The police have gone in to rescue the hostages.
Are there any left at this point?
Yeah, they've evacuated the stadium, and it appears to be two places, at a nightclub and at a concert hall. In the concert hall, there are over 100 dead.
Good God, that's freaking terrible.
Yeah, it's still a lot of information and disinformation at this time. So, but that's what I know. And my brother is watching this, and it's been somebody I think recorded this. He gave me a link. I haven't been able to watch it, but it's basically somebody yelled Allahu Akbar, and the shooting began.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah, it's terrible what's happening. So, I'm gonna try to keep updated if I get more information. But as we know, just like the 22nd of July in Norway, where I live, we also had a lot of disinformation when all those people got killed. So, a lot of shit that's gonna come out now isn't gonna be true. So.
Well, your news is probably going to be more accurate than ours, because I mean, right now, like, I think everybody's reporting like 18 to 20 or something like that. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that number is way higher.
It's
U.S. news sucks.
100, at least 100, and and many of the sites are now saying 140 confirmed kill. So let's continue with this.
She's a video game developer and aficionado. She credits Princess Peach from Super Mario Bros. 2 for sparking her passion for games. That game showed her that playable female characters were not only possible, but necessary. In the years since, Brianna developed and released several hit games. If that's not enough, she founded her own company, the host of a weekly podcast. Brianna is an outspoken advocate for women in an industry dominated by men. Female video game developers make up just
She's technically a man, isn't she? I mean...
Yes.
Biologically, she's a man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a whole other can of worms to address.
Well, here's the question I would ask her. Are you a woman or are you a trans woman?
Good point.
Yeah, good point.
But by voicing her opinion, she became an unwitting victim of bullying, harassment, and death threats. Threats came from those involved with GamerGate, misogynist.
Yeah, we should have expected that.
Online campaign aimed at intimidating and silencing women in gaming. Refusing to back down, she appealed to law enforcement and government officials alike. She's pushing to strengthen oversight and punishment for perpetrators of online threats. She's here to share her experience and once again prove that she won't.
Damn that face.
Welcome to Full Frame.
Oh, God. What the fuck was that?
I'm not sure all our viewers understand it, but before we do that, let's kind of back up. We talked about Super Mario Bros. 2. What was it about this game and this character that kind of led you on this path that you're on now, would you say?
Well, I started gaming in 1985 when
look at that face.
Nintendo came out. It was the first year I got to be really excited about it. But the problem is it was always men having the adventure. Like Mario is a game about men, Mega Man is a game about men, and Princess Peach really stood out to me in Super Mario 2.
Okay.
Oh my God! Do you know those were basically just dots? You could barely see that they were men.
What was so compelling about that character? Also,
they had no personality at that time. They had no personality. They had, oh, the princess is gone, go save her. That's it.
Too, because she wasn't just a woman in the game, she was also the most powerful character in that game. And seeing a character I identified with was just so powerful, and it really made me feel like there was something I was missing. So what I've found frustrating professionally is now in 2015, women being the protagonist seems to be just as rare. So that's kind of the mission of my.
Really? You bitched about Assassin's Creed last year, and now you fucking got it.
The world is never enough.
Make games for the rest of us.
And what's interesting is originally you wanted to be in this seat, the person asking the questions and not answering them. You studied journalism.
I did.
So
I did.
How did this come about where you ended up on this game track?
Well, you know, when you lead a studio, you need a multitude of job skills.
You mean your parents' money, you fuckwit? That's what she got.
She wasted all that.
Yeah.
You know, I worked in politics for a while. Leading a studio is a very political job. Leading a game studio means doing marketing. And I found it, I've always had a passion for journalism. So I find that all these skills have kind of built on one another and kind of led me to this point here.
So journalism, what the fuck does journalism have to do with making a game? Oh my god.
I was mentioning to you before we started taping that I'd gone to DigiPen in Seattle, which is this school where a lot of gamers go to learn the business. And I mentioned to you that there was nothing but men there.
Yeah.
You must have known entering this field that that was the landscape.
She was a man back then. Just FYI, motherfucker.
What was it like? How daunting was it when you initially entered?
Well, I want to tell you, when I first went into this field, I certainly believed women were equal, but, it wasn't something that really I thought about on a daily basis like I do now. What I found going into the video game industry is it is a drastically different situation than any other job I've ever had. And the truth is, men do dominate this field, and they're good people, but there are a million small things about our culture that kind of signal to women that you're not welcome here. So,
and let me guess, she can't mention one of those. Do you guys, you want to take bets right now? I bet 10 misogynies.
It's more like how many guys? Like 1, 10, 20, 50? Because if one guy told you to get out of gaming, is that now suddenly representative of everybody?
I don't fucking know how these people think.
What I found is for me to have this job and be successful at it requires me to kind of speak up about my own equality and, the equality of my colleagues.
So you must seek out other women in the industry, and you must hear much the same thing?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. There's kind of, women in game dev, we tend to talk to each other a lot behind the scenes and kind of have private conversations.
Really?
And the things I bring to the forefront, talk about frustration with hiring practices, with promotional opportunities, with kind of being pushed into certain roles at a company. This isn't something I feel. This is something I hear over and over again from my colleagues.
So for our viewers who have no idea what GamerGate is, and where they feel like this is a foreign language, take us there. Take us there.
One-sided.
Is this the first video that actually game dropped?
No, it was. I'm doing it in the order it was dropped. So we had the Lillien first, then with the other one,
right, is this the first video though that actually used the name, or he used the name GamerGate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. So he didn't even mention it in previous videos because he didn't need to, or it wasn't relevant?
I don't know.
But apparently it's relevant here. That's interesting.
This all start. What is it?
Sure. So video games are really changing right now. They did a study in 1989 that showed that women were only 3% of gamers. In 2008, when the iPhone came out, women were only 17% of gamers. Today, we are 49% of gamers. So what you've had is this explosion of women that are playing video games in a very short amount of time. And what's happening because of that is...
And most of them play on phones. They don't play on consoles or PC.
Can we just... That whole, room setup there, how many... God, that just looks like so much product placement there. That had to have been doctored up for something.
Yeah.
And marketed for men.
It's Philips, I think, there.
every bit of it. It's like a male
Samsung.
fantasy. But now that so many women are playing games, as an industry, we're kind of looking at the games we're putting out and saying, does this old playbook really still work in 2015? And the answer is it doesn't. So our industry is rapidly changing, and this is threatening a lot of people.
Yeah, Time Crisis 2.
So your ways...
Huh?
Fuck yeah, Time Crisis 2. That's a good game.
What's been happening in the last few years is, this kind of online
God, I come back to this
harassment of women.
face.
that gets
Stop
very
it, stop it. I
defensive
don't
and
need this shit.
angry When
Triggered.
gamers ask for simple things
Turn
like,
away now.
hey, can we have a female playable character in some games? Very basic representation is tremendously threatening. So we've just basically been getting more and more online harassment. So what happened last year, sadly, is Boston game developer Zoe Quinn, she had a former boyfriend of hers release her entire love life online, made a ton of allegations with the purpose of discrediting her. And what happened was this, it's like there was a pot boiling on the stove and it caught the entire kitchen on fire. And what we've seen in the aftermath of that is just an explosion.
Well, forgive my sexist joke, but that's because you forgot I had a woman.
It's more like whose pot was it that actually caught on fire?
And who's boiling water that causes a fire?
Because I guarantee you she's not going to say the
all over
boiling
the
pot
industry.
is gaming journalism.
They've been going after us one by one. I myself have now had 86 death threats sent to me in the last 8 months.
86? No!
The inconsistency continues.
I mean,
counted each and every one of them.
Why are you going on TV here and saying you got how many death threats you got?
Because it's a game for her. 86, she has to make sure that it's more than the other three girls. I mean, when you're competing for the tiara of victimhood, it's a game. It's a meta game. Ooh, that's it. It's a meta game.
Yeah, it's a meta game, guys. Oh, I think once she reaches 100 death threats, she'll get an achievement.
Achievement unlocked. Oppression Olympics.
Women should be
Ding, ding.
represented, and I think we should be able to work in this field too.
So you engage the conversation. This is a conversation going on online. A lot of just reprehensible things being said, and you're sitting there. I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to take part in this discussion. So you get online. You must have been just stunned at the vitriol and just the anger that came in your direction. I mean, give us a sense of the stuff that you were getting.
Sure. I gave a speech at Columbia a few weeks ago, and I'm there and I'm trying to inspire women engineers to enter this field because it's a great job. I love my job, and I leave this college. I'm feeling really good about what I've just done, and I look at my iPhone and someone's sending me death threats, and they're saying like,
again, why the fuck are you even talking about this?
Secondly, if there's anything that's discouraging me from actually going to get an engineering degree, it's the atmosphere of hostility around the PC culture at universities more than anything.
Yeah, not only that, but like the last thing you want to do is give the people that are sending you death threats attention. So why in the fuck would you bring this up in an interview like this?
It's called You Don't Talk About This Shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking fake.
Brianna, I know where you live. I'm waiting outside your house for you to get home from Columbia. The last thing you ever feel before you die is going to be a drill bit going into your...
Why the fuck is she telling the details?
Because she wants attention.
Sensationalism, attention.
Yep.
Because
fucking narcissistic bitch.
The police and the FBI would have told her, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Don't tell anyone about this shit.
Your skull.
The minute you start
giving
giving
your husband and dogs too. And this is just another day of the week for me. And just to take a step back here, The reason I got involved in this was they were bullying my friends out of this field one by one. So I want for you to imagine online people going after your colleagues, like your closest friends, one by one, and harassing them until they left. And I couldn't stand by and watch that happen to the people that I cared about. So
I can't take this seriously. How about that?
And the consequences for me and my family have been severe, but this has to change.
Severe, but I would think just even looking at the phone. I mean, it's exercises that most of us do on a daily basis. There's got to be trepidation every time you look at it. I mean, so what can you do? What have you done? And obviously, you're continuing to speak out. So they haven't silenced you, which undoubtedly was what they were after.
Yes.
But have law enforcement have they been responsive? I mean, what can be done?
I wish I could sit here and tell you law enforcement has been responsive, because person to person, there are a lot of really good men and women in law enforcement that have worked with me on this. But the truth is, in all the hundreds and hundreds of death threats that have been sent to me, Zoe Quinn, and Anita Sarkeesian, there have been no prosecutions. No,
maybe because they weren't actually legitimate threats, motherfucker.
To answer the
They weren't legitimate threats then.
You remember the Utah thing? Where there was an incredible threat?
The bomb threat. Yeah, they took that pretty seriously.
Yeah, because it wasn't fucking serious.
These charges. And I think it's a really deep problem. We have 15,000 FBI agents working here in the United States. As best as I have been able to tell, there are 0 of them whose job it is to look at these kind of threats and prosecute them. So I think what we're seeing is a disconnect between the dangers of the world we currently inhabit and our ability to prosecute those threats.
I want to get your quote right here. You say that games are the most misogynistic area of tech.
Yeah.
Why do you?
Citation fucking needed.
Yep.
The most misogynist.
Mostest of misogyny.
Don't make me vomit up my fucking curry, okay? Like, seriously? It's too good.
I think that for 30 years, games have been created to cater to a very specific kind of player. It's typically male, white, straight, and I think a normal person that's not a gamer can look at what comes out and tell they're these kind of violent, very macho fantasies. So I think you have some people that really, really love games the way that they are and don't want them to change. Like, they base their identity in being gamers. And I don't think that's a particularly healthy thing. I also think it's really important to note, I don't want to censor any kind of game. All I'm looking to do is to widen the amount of games that come out. So, yes, you can have these kind of more violent, macho fantasies.
You know
but
what?
let's have some more
If she
stories.
wants more games to come out, then why doesn't she become a game dev and create the games she wants?
She created the game she wants, but she's not making the port that she was saying she was going to.
Well, because the game didn't sell as well as I think she wanted it to.
Well, the reason the game didn't sell is because she was so full of herself. She was bitching around on Twitter instead of, actually helping with the development. So it looked like a piece of shit, played like a piece of shit, and she wonders why she didn't sell.
Well, plus she went iOS instead of...
Yeah, iOS of all fucking things. And
Probably
seriously,
because women play a lot of mobile games. Oh, so you did target the right platform.
Right. And you still failed.
And you still failed. Oh. Press on pause so I don't have to see the static face anymore.
Over here for the rest of us. It's ultimately about meeting the entire marketplace's needs.
Well, and you mentioned, it's no longer 3%. I mean,
Right.
it's half the equation. It should be half of the games, you would think.
But I want to say something about that. If you look, we are half the market now. But there's a huge disconnect in the people making games and the people consuming games, because it's men financing the games, running the studios, making the games, marketing the games, doing everything.
And who the fuck is paying for them?
Well,
Shouldn't
you know,
you?
she actually does make a semi-decent point, except that's just it. Like, it's these people who are funding the development for the games. So either you work within that constraint, or you fund your own game, which is what she did. So if you're failing at making the game you want, now what?
You still bitches, so.
At this side
Right,
of the
'cause,
pipeline,
you know.
on the journalists reviewing the games, and then over here we have women that are looking at this product and going, this doesn't speak to me, and I just think we can do better.
So, but speaking of speaking to you, you also said Facebook, Tinder, Snapchat, Google, basically all the software out there in general, also in many respects male-dominated. How do we change that landscape, and how do we get women a seat at the table? More than maybe one seat.
How is Facebook male-dominated?
Or Tinder. It's like it's not like there's any fucking. There's literally no fucking catches to signing up for either of these. You literally go in, you sign up, you put your information in, you're done. There's no fucking hang-ups. Fuck off with that shit.
I'm pretty sure majority of Facebook's probably female anyway.
Yeah, no shit.
It's 50%, maybe 50%
That
of the
would make
seats.
sense. I think the systems you just noted are really important to note because, increasingly we live our lives online. Like, I don't know about you, but I spend more time on Facebook and Twitter than I do at my local civic center. So when we're talking about tech, we are talking about the spaces that we currently inhabit as the human race. And the fact that they are made by men means they're kind of unsafe for women because you have people that just aren't thinking about certain things along the way. Getting women involved with tech it's what we call in engineering a multifactorial problem. There are a lot of people that believe you can just kind of get young girls interested in tech and call it a day. But the truth is, this field is so hostile to us that we just...
How is it hostile?
Hostility.
Misogyny.
Misogynies.
Hostility.
I'm actually trying to look
Let
that
me
word up.
try and-
Multivectoral. What'd she say? Multivectoral something?
Don't even bother. Just talking shit.
Yeah, that's what I figure, but, me, I have to look things up.
Lose women all along the way. We lose women in elementary school, in high school.
What?
What the fuck?
Lose them in what? In elementary school? What do girls are say? Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. The parents have no power over that child. The child's just like, fuck this, I'm done. And the parents are like, okay, okay, honey, if that's what you want. No.
Oh, some are. I mean, not like that doesn't happen, but probably not the majority.
Yeah, a huge majority do not do that.
We lose women with recruiting and hiring practices. And then when we become mothers, we lose women there because these companies don't really have policies that are friendly to moms. So, it's an entire spectrum of problem that we really need to sit down and have an adult look at.
Yeah, as I sit here listening to you, I think we're here in 2015, and yet the gaming industry's back in 1950. But
I agree with that. Yeah.
That joke is so funny because the gaming industry was in 1950. No.
If I didn't have to
you just
pick up
mentioned you were
Amy from work, I'd be drinking right now because this is just bad. This is just bad.
Well.
The university, obviously inspiring a lot of young women to enter the field. Do you think that these folks are finally realizing that perhaps their efforts are backfiring, that you're not going away, that the voices are not going to be silenced? Or do you think the message hasn't gotten through to them?
I don't think they're capable of understanding that they're harassers. They don't see, the people that send me death threats don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as noble warriors.
Oh,
Ironically, to make the,
that's
ironically, you can make
projection.
the argument
That's
against her as
projection.
well.
That's
Yeah, I was just
projection.
gonna say. Yeah, it is. You can make the argument against them. You don't understand that this isn't how things work. Sorry, disagree, but whatever.
That's fucking projection. The thing that it's villains thinking they're heroes and warriors. Jesus
And they don't have a
Christ.
problem with their
Of course
actions.
it's projection.
So this is a hard thing for me to talk about because I make video games, but let's talk in scientific terms about what video games do to you. I wish this weren't true, but studies have shown video games lower your empathy for people, and they do slow your social development. I wish that weren't true. Because
What?
the science of it. So
What?
Citation fucking needed, motherfucker.
Good freaking God! Seriously? I can't. I don't even.
I think that's one of the reasons we see this really pronounced harassment, because the people doing it just are very low in empathy.
Well, and the other thing is if the games are developed in this sense that women aren't important and they're trophies that you collect at the end of the game,
Oh
the messages being
my
sent by the games
God.
themselves
Yes.
kind of lead to this.
It does. You can't have 30 years of women being represented as, damsels in distress and over-sexualized trophies and objects without that kind of affecting the way people feel about women on an unconscious level. And
yes.
to just kind of return to what it's like for women in the professional sphere. Almost all the discrimination I face and my colleagues face on a daily basis, it's unconscious by nature. And you have good men that are smart men, but they have unconscious assumptions that they don't realize really end up hurting us.
If you could wave that magic wand, what if there was one thing you could change right now about the industry, what would it be?
Just see us as people. That's
Oh dear God.
The fucking Katie.
Women in tech are frequently valued for our looks. We're talked over. We're minimized. We just aren't valued. And all I'm asking for is the chance to have the same kind of respect that I see men in this field do. It's a huge challenge, like with getting jobs, getting funding for projects, just outright discrimination as you get older. It's a very difficult equation. So I just want people to see me and my colleagues as a person.
Well, hopefully they saw that in this broadcast. Thanks so much for coming in
Thank
and
you for
talking to us.
inviting me.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
My head hurts after that shit.
Yeah. More woo doing more woo things, really.
Yep. Woo-tastic.
That's all I can say because, my dear God, my head hurts.
Yeah, I've literally got a headache right now. Like, I don't know if it's because I've been spamming that hashtag with drat porn or what it was.
The thing about Wu is that, at least in my observation of her actions and things over the last year, is that I think at one point she actually had like a decent view of the industry and a decent set of ideas, and somewhere along the way it's just like something snapped and now it's batshit insanity. Like she just everything of hers is just buried under this like 20 layers of pretending that everything else in the world is wrong and that she's like, I don't know. It must be what it's like to be like the biggest victim in the world or something.
I think I remember someone mentioning that they think that she might have borderline personality disorder.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm thinking of the infamous Hat 2 video with him and her going over her game, and how like anytime he would kind of sort of try to ask questions that were not necessarily like critical of the game, but just sort of point out like things about it, she got like really sort of defensive about it. Like it's, oh my God, you're criticizing my game, the game that I put thousands of hours upon, and it's the greatest thing ever in the world. It's like, I mean, think of how many other developers on a daily basis get like shit on by gamers for
Yeah,
terrible.
I have a perfect example of this. I think it was last year, I believe it was. There was a developer. No, it was 2 years ago in Call of Duty Ghosts, I believe it was. There was a designer who tweaked one of the weapons and got death threats over it.
Wow.
He is not going on these fucking programs bitching about getting death threats.
Well, how can he? Everybody else is just going to be like, oh well, you're a big guy, deal with it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Guess I'm just supposed to deal with it.
Yeah, it's just this kind of shit. It just boggles my mind. Yeah.
I mean, any other discussion you probably get in with her is going to end up dragging her whole transgender identity into it, and I mean, I don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole because I mean, my God, anytime you try to have any sort of civil discussion, elsewhere on the internet about those sorts of things, they totally flip their shit out and it's like you can't talk about it like that. It's like, okay. So no, won't touch that. So I mean, when I threw her that Slashdot question, I kind of was like I wanted to know more about her development ideas, and the sort of answer that I got was well, I know all these things about mobile development and this and this and that and Unreal, and it's like, okay, so well, why did your game do so badly?
It's because everyone's a misogynist.
I don't know. Like, if I was handed as much money as she was handed to start up her little company, like, I would try to make a, not a huge scale game, but just something small, something, like.
No, don't lie. You're gonna make a Metal Gear Solid game. Fuck you.
Yes. I would make something,
Precursor to
Hideo Kojima this shit.
At least get stuff started off. Get some income from an actual release.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks decent, and gamers would, think is fun versus trying to trash as Revolution 60. I mean, what?
I just don't know what her motivations were. Like, she's all over the place. It's
Attention.
Yeah. Well, and then that's again like. Has she even responded to the Zoe Quinn book and movie deal yet?
I don't know anything right now. But we're pretty much done with the topic, so I'm going to update on the Paris thing. 1,500 soldiers drafted into Paris, Canadians and U.S. Presidents, Prime Minister have given soldiers to the disposal. Reuters said it's around 140 dead.
Good God.
Let's see. There are people near the stadium where France and Germany were playing. People were filming when they were evacuated from the stadium. That they were singing the French national anthem. France has declared a national state of emergency and has closed its borders. Let's see. Schools and universities close, and flights. American airlines delays its Paris flights. People inside the concert hall that survived by hiding and laying down. Let's see. President of France, François Hollande, we wanted to be here among all those who saw the atrocious things to say that we are going to fight and our fight will be merciless. Because these terrorists are capable of atrocities, we need to know that they will be confronted by France that is determined, unified and put together, and a France that will not let itself overrated, even if today it is expressing an infinite amount of emotion at this drama and this tragedy, which was an abomination and a barbaric act. And it seems that he was very close, so I think it was at the stadium. Let's see.
By the way, Andrew Doll, you sound like you're underwater again.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry about that. I have two PCs, so I'm looking at the other screen. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You with your PCs, punk.
that's what I know at least now. And before, as I said earlier, the attackers said Allahu Akbar before they attacked. So.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on in Paris, man? I don't even know.
A bunch of crazy shit.
Well, yes, apparently that's.
That's pretty much goes without saying.
Yep.
So that's going to be
That's right,
plastered all over my Facebook for the next like 4 days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be real bad. Yeah, expect death tolls to increase during the night. I think they caught one of them, but I'm not sure if that's actually true. So.
Wow.
We'll have to keep an eye on that then.
Yeah. Anything else before we close down the stream?
No, I think I'm good.
Anyone else? Do you want to shill anything?
We're not 100% certain, but Green Grape's podcast is probably going to be doing a stream either today, or like as in later this evening, or sometime in the next couple days about the Paris attack. So look out for that if you're interested.
All right, Delta.
Not much. Just playing games right now. I'm actually trying to work on a new gaming channel, but no details yet.
Okay, Ali.
Hmm?
Do you have anything you want to share?
I don't have anything I really want to share right now.
Okay. Well, we can continue this off air, and I'm gonna probably do another stream. I don't know if it's probably too late for me now, but tomorrow perhaps when we know more. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.